Hello everybody, welcome back to ERD Stitches tutorial. I greet you my returning subscribers and those stopping by for the first time. You are highly welcome. Please don't forget to subscribe, like my videos, and don't forget to also put on the notification bell so that you'll be notified anytime I upload a new video. So today I'm going to teach you how to cut and sew this beautiful new lunch bag design that you are seeing on the screen here. I'm putting it through on the cutting and the sewing. So let's get started. Okay guys, this is the leather we are using for this tutorial. So what I have here cut out is 11.5 inches by 10.5 inches, and I have it cut out 2 pieces of leather. This is the leather, it's a taffeta leather I'm using. 2 pieces of leather, 2 pieces of my lining, and 2 pieces of foam. So now I'm going to keep the lining and the foam aside. I'm going to shape the leather. So for this leather, at this point, I'm shaping it with 1.5 inches. I hope you are seeing it. 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. This way is 1.5 inches. This one is 1.5 inches. I connected it as a curve. Here I took 1 inch here, 1 inch here. You can see it. You can see it. 1 inch by 1 inch. You can see it. So now I'm going to cut it out. So after cutting it, I will flip it over this way because we need to shape the second part of the leather. So I'm going to use my clip to clip it so that it will be equal. So after clipping it, I will shape here. I will also notch it. I will also notch it here. So now that I'm done shaping this, I'm going to use this to shape this. So now I'm done shaping it. So I'm going to get this leather. I just want to put a design on it. This leather is 4 inches by the wideness of this. So I'm going to pick one of the main bodies. I'll remove one. So I'm going to place this leather on it, and I'm going to notch this leather also to get the midpoint. So now I'm going to put it midpoint to midpoint, place it midpoint to midpoint, then I will top stitch it on this round. So I'm done stitching it, top stitching it round. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to sew this my short strap and the short handle on it. I have it here cut 2 pieces. So I want to give you the measurement of the length I'm using. So I'm using 24.75 inches, 2 pieces cut out. So from this my midpoint that I have already notched, I'm going to measure 2 inches on my left and 2 inches on my right. So here I'm marking 2 inches here. Then here also I'm taking 2 inches. So from this 2 inches point, I'm going to place my strap, my belt on it this way, and place this one this way. You can see where it stops. So I'm going to stitch it on it. I'm going to repeat same. I'm going to repeat same on this second one. I will sew this on it. Okay, you can see I'm done sewing my handle. You can see it. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get a belt to cover this roughness here. I'll place it here and top stitch it. I will do same on this one also. So you can see I'm done with it. This is it now. Now for this is the front leather. This is the front. I want to put pockets at this front. So this is my pocket. This is the measurement of my pocket. the height is 7¼ inches and the wideness is 11.5 inches, which is the wideness of our loin-bag. So I've already taped it with my belt. So I'm going to place it here, or you can as well bring it together, notch the midpoint. Notch the midpoint. So match the midpoint with this down midpoint here. Match the midpoint. Then I'm going to stitch it this way, and this way. Okay guys, you can see I'm done sewing the pocket. This is the pocket now. So now I'm going to get my lining. This is my lining. I'll put my foam inside. I'll put my leather. Then I will sew it round. I'm going to repeat them on the second one also. I'll get my lining, which is this. I'll put my foam. I'll put my leather inside it. I will sew it round. So the next thing I will do now is I'm going to measure this round. I'll start my measuring. You measure from this point, measure it round till you get to this point. So when I measured my own, I got 41.5 inches. So now that 41.5 inches, I'm going to add 2 inches to it to make it 43.5 inches. Now the gusset I'm putting, the wideness, you decide the wideness you want, but I want my own wideness to be big. So I'm going to cut 7½ inches. In fact, I'm going to cut 8 inches. That's 43.5 inches by 8 inches is what I'm going to cut as my gusset, and I will also cut lining for it. So guys, I've cut my gusset. Like I said, the wideness I'm using is 8 inches. You can decide to reduce your own, but I'm using 8 inches. So now I've cut the gusset, I cut the foam, I cut the lining. Now I'm keeping the foam and the lining aside. We are going to work on the gusset. So what you will do is that you take from one point of the gusset, you measure 12½ inches. 12½ inches. Now this, from this side I took 3/4 inches. You can see 3/4 inches. So when I measure 12½ inches, I ruled it. When I measure the 3/4 inches, I ruled it. I measure 3/4 inches here also, I ruled it. Now I want to curve it at this point. What I did is that from this line here, I measured 1½ inches here. You can see it's 1½ inches. Then while this way, I measured 1 inch. You can see it, 1 inch. So I connected it together. So now I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to cut it from this line. So when I got to this point, I'm going to fold it over this way. Fold it over. You see the way I did it? Fold it over. Then I'm using it to shape this point. Then I'll continue cutting. Okay, now we are going to sew our strap, our long strap and the adjuster strap. So this is the one I'm using for the D-ring. It's 5 inches I have here. So I'm going to put this. I don't know what you call it in your area. So this is the way it will be. I hope you are seeing it. Now, from this point, I'm going to take 2 inches. I hope you are seeing it. 2 inches. So it's that from that 2 inches that I will place my you place it from the 2 inches line. You centralize it here and sew it. So at this point, you come down by 2 inches also. So that is where I will also place this. I will centralize it and also sew it to this line. So the length of this strap is, the length of this belt is 50 inches. So I'm going to put it here and sew it to this 2 inches line. Make sure that the allowance you have here is the same thing with what you have on this side also. So now, after sewing the strap, the next thing that we are going to do now is we are going to place our leather on our lining the way I just did now. So I'm going to arrange it and top stitch it on my lining this way. So guys, after sewing it this way, you can see the way I sewed it. I've not sewn this side, you can see it. So now I'm going to cut off the lining. So when you are cutting off the lining, cut it to be very, very close to your leather.
No dream too big, no task too dry. Laptop bags with sturdy grace. Every journey we embrace.
So we are going to keep this aside. For this cover, I want to sew this to it. I want the cover to be different from the distance. So I want to place this there. This is optional. You can choose not to do it, but I'm going to top stitch it round on the cover. Now that I'm done top stitching it, I want to place it on my lining and stitch it round. So now I'm going to sew my zipper. This is my zip cloth. The right side of my zip cloth will face the right side of my leather. So I'm going to place my zip cloth here. You have to leave some, like 1 inch allowance here before you start sewing. So I'm going to put it and sew it round. Okay guys, I'm done sewing it. So the next thing now, I'm going to tape it with my bias belt. So you start your taping from inside. You start from this part, put your belt, and as you sew, you tape. As you sew, you tape. As you sew, you tape. So that's what I'm going to do to it now. So guys, I'm done taping it. So the next thing now is that what I did is that I folded it this way to get the midpoint. So now I'm going to separate the zip cloth. I'm going to keep this aside. I'm going to get this. This is the cover. So I'm going to notch the cover. I want to trim off this excess lining here. So I want to get the middle of the cover, the midpoint. So after notching the midpoint here, so the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to get my piping cord. I'll place my piping cord here and pipe it till I get to this point. So I'm done piping it round. So the next thing now is I'm going to get the zipper. You remember I've notched it already. This is the right side. So I'm going to put it midpoint to midpoint. So I'm going to arrange it on this piping cord. So I'm going to sew it. I'll start my sewing from here and sew it till I get to this point. Okay, I'm done sewing my zip. I've also taped it at once. So the next thing now, you're going to get the main body, which is this. Then you're going to fix your zip head. I'm using 2 runners for the zip head. When you're fixing your zip head, make sure that the midpoint, I hope you are seeing the midpoint, this chalk here and this, make sure that they align. You see it? Make sure that they align when you are fixing your zip head. So I'm going to fix my zip head now. So I'm done fixing my zip head. You can see it. You see the midpoint matched together. So now I'm going to now sew my lining and my leather together. As I sew, I will insert my foam. Don't forget to insert your foam inside. So I'm going to stitch it together this way till I'll get back to this point. I'm done sewing my lining and my leather together. So the next thing I'm going to do now is that I'm going to move it forward this way. But before I do that, you have to notch it to get the midpoint here. Don't forget to put your foam here also. Now, I'm going to put it midpoint to midpoint, then I will sew it. After sewing it, I will tape it at once. So I'm done sewing it and taping it. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the midpoint of this. So I want this and this to be at the same level. So now that I've gotten it at the same level, I'm going to notch the midpoint now. I'll notch the midpoint here. I'll also notch it here. I'll turn to this part. Follow the midpoint that you have already notched. Follow it. Let it be a guide. So I'm going to notch it here. And also down here. Now that we have gotten our midpoint, I'm going to get my body, which is this. This is the up. So it will be on this part. I'm going to put it here. I'll match it midpoint to midpoint. Midpoint to midpoint. Here. The down part also, I'm going to match it midpoint to midpoint also. So now I'm going to sew it round. As you sew, you arrange. As I sew, I arrange. As I sew, I arrange. As I sew, I arrange. You can see it, no excess. So I'm going to sew this round. I'll bring this also. I'll put this on this part and also sew it round. I'm done sewing it round. You can see it. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my bias belt to tape it round. Just cover it with the bias belt. I'll tape it all round. Okay, I'm done taping it round. You can see it. I'm done taping it round. Now we are going to turn it to the right side. So after turning it to the right side now, we sew our belt. So now we are going to sew our adjuster, as in fix our adjuster. You pass the adjuster the way I'm passing it now, you can see it. Then you pass it through your D-ring. You have something like this. So now you're going to pass it again under here. See the way I put it. You have to open this a little so that you can be able to pass it. You see the way I'm putting it. It's inside now. Then you pass it again. I'm trying to not to rush it so that you get what I'm doing. Now this is it now. So when it comes here, you adjust it. I'm going to fold here inside this way. You see the way I folded it? You see the way I folded it in? Then I'm going to sew it here. You can see the corset. I use 8 inches. And this 8 inches is big. You can decide to reduce your own to 6.5 inches or 7 inches or 6 inches, depending on how big you want your own to be. So if you have watched to this extent and you have not subscribed, kindly do so. Subscribe to support my channel. Thank you and God bless you. Don't forget to join our online classes. Thank you.